and welcome back to Hope Follows. I'm Julie Kensler, author, broadcaster, and friend along this journey with you. Hope Follows is where we share courageous stories of hard times and the hope that follows those. And today is our first episode with a new segment Hope Follows is starting. And I have my friend and my physician, Dr. Jessica Blanco, here with me.
Yes, hello. Nice to meet you.
So glad she's here. The title of our episode, our segment is it's called Hope and Health: Conversations with Dr. Blanco, where we explore the powerful connection between medical wisdom and the hope that carries us forward. Now, if you're watching this, if you could please subscribe on the YouTube channel for Hope Follows with Julie Kensler, and also go ahead and like it, share it with someone who you know would like to have a little more hope in their health journey as well. You can also go to hopefollows.com, my website, for more resources and some additional stories, and you could find my book and how to access that and get that for a gift for the holiday season ahead. Well, today is the first episode that we have for you, and this will be a monthly episode, a monthly show where we talk about all things health related with this expert next to me. And so once a month we'll be doing that. We have a variety of topics, but I want you to hear a little bit about Dr. Blanco. So Jessica is a graduate of University of Arizona. I graduated from Arizona State University.
And we just won.
And
the last
recently,
game.
they just beat us in the competitive football game. Yes. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not that I did anything. But
Now, however, she does have a connection with the football team because her husband that she met there at University of Arizona, she married him, and he was the captain of the football team at that time.
Yeah.
Right. You went there for undergrad and medical?
Yes, undergraduate and medical school, all 8 years.
Yes,
Yep.
8 years. Wow. Okay. So one of the things I want you to hear about is she's going to share in just a moment of how this passion for medicine, how it even came about. And then also one thing I want you to hear from her heart as we share today is all about meeting Dr. Blanco and hearing what we're going to be doing in these shows. But I want you to know that she takes her role very seriously. It's a huge responsibility. It's something that she's passionate for, cares very deeply when she has someone in the office and says, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make you better. This is what I'm going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. You knew since you were a little girl, so can you tell our friend watching what that was like for you?
Well, we didn't have doctors in my family, right? I had 2 aunts who were nurses. They were both RNs. And I remember when I was little and I was sick, my dad would call them for medical advice. And they somehow knew what to do, of course, and how to get me better. And I just liked that someone could actually make you better. And I remember being very little, 5, 6 years old, I would do a makeshift office in my bedroom, right? I would have Q-tips and Band-Aids and hydrogen peroxide and alcohol, not dolls, right, on my dresser. And my brother, who was into motorbikes and bicycles ever since he could probably walk, was always, popping wheelies in the alley and people getting hurt and usually his friends, not him. But either way, just waiting, the anticipation, I think, of trying to care for somebody and take care of somebody and again, making them feeling better. And I remember going to the doctor and you're sick, and when you got medicine and you felt better. And so it was someone to go to that you knew was going to make you feel better. And I just felt like that was just a calling on my life, that I didn't really have any plan B. There was no plan B. It was just, you're going to be a doctor. And, I didn't think to be a nurse. It was just, let me be the job that I can be, that's going to be able to provide financially if I didn't get married, and I wanted to make sure that I was financially set to do that as well.
Yeah. So those were your first patients.
That would be correct.
And did they know you weren't actually officially a doctor yet?
I don't think back in the 70s anybody cared.
Right, that's true. Just throw a little this on there.
Yeah,
And that.
yeah.
So how has this calling to go into medicine, how has that developed over time for you?
It's interesting, I just knew I wanted to be a doctor, and I knew I wanted to do primary care. I knew I wanted to be a representation for other people that looked like me, right? I never knew a female physician when I was little. I never saw a physician of color when I was little. So to be a minority female physician in and of itself was, not challenging. It just wasn't common. So I definitely wanted to be a representation for those who didn't have, come from a lineage of physicians. And it developed really to just opening this practice over, we're coming on 23 years, 23 years. And it's just been a blessing to be able to have the autonomy to care for patients the way we want to, and not being told how many patients we have to see. And so it's nice because we can set up our office the way we want. We can have scriptures. We can pray for our patients. It enables us to bring the natural and the supernatural together to provide the best patient care we can provide.
I love that. And Jessica is 23 years and has always had her own practice.
Yeah, it'll be 24 in
24,
April. Yeah,
okay.
24 years. Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Any big celebrations ahead on how you'd like to do that?
That's a good. No, I mean, every day is just we took some time, I think, for our 20 year. My office manager has been with me right after we opened, maybe 6 months after, and so she's been a very strong foundation as well for this office. A very good, stable, mindset in helping us do what we do. So that's been a blessing as well, just to have the stability of staff and to provide the environment where people feel respected and heard and listened to, and knowing that their voice matters as well. And so I think it's good to have that environment where people are happy where they work. That's always my goal. And so hopefully we've accomplished that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, as one of your patients, I feel that when I come in.
That's great.
I feel that everybody is just working together as a team, and that is a testament to you and your manager, I'm sure, your office manager.
She's great.
And so let's talk about what is a value that guides your work and life, because I'm sure they so overlap. So a value that guides that, and then I'm going to ask you another question related.
A value that guides my work and my life, I think, just to do it unto the Lord, right? And so to do the best I can do. I always say I go to bed at night and I can lay down and say I know I did the best I could do, to give 100%, and to let my patients know I truly care. And if I don't know the answer, to try and find the answer, or find someone that can help me get the answer, to get the diagnosis correct, to get their treatment correct, whatever that may be. So to me, that is pertinent. And I think if you try to do just the best you can, instead of having a spirit of laziness or a spirit of that's enough, that's not the case in medicine, and I don't think it should be the case at home either.
Yeah, very nice. Great quality. Now, how do you maintain a personal life balance?
It changes, right? When my kids were little, the office we would have open at 7 a.m., but my last patient was always at 2:30, so I could be home in time when they got out of school and or go to their events. My daughter played soccer, my son played football, so it was important that we were present. So my husband definitely helped in the morning shift. I was the afternoon shift. And so versus working for somebody that says you have to be here at 8, you can't leave till 5. And I feel like the autonomy again allowed me to do what was necessary to be a present mom, but also a good physician as well. And I was always told you're going to struggle at one or the other, whether it's being a wife, whether it's being a mom, whether it's being an employee or an employer, you're not going to be great at everything, but to try to do the best. And so in some seasons that changes, right? And so now we're pretty much empty nesters for the most part. The focus isn't as much on the adult children, which is a whole nother segment, but
yes, that will be an episode to come. That's one.
Right. But I think
Topic.
just taking better care of yourself and the stress that comes at certain ages. So I think that it fluctuates for sure. Yeah, the priorities.
Sure. And we'll definitely be talking about that because, well, do you recall how you came to me about doing this?
Remind me, because we've talked so many times.
You came in, I was in the office for a visit, and you came in and said, I want to do a podcast with you. Because you have a show, and I think we need to talk about women in their 50s and older, because there's a lot of things that they're dealing with. And and that might have been like a year ago.
I believe it. Yeah, and in the office, we just see a lot of women who are struggling to be a mom, to be a wife, to be an employee, to be everything. I think just the stress and the strain of social media, what you read, what the world wants, and it's just really going backwards. Okay, what's important? What did God call me to do? What is my calling? And I see that, of course, in the office, right, with our patients. So women struggling with their kids going away to college, and women struggling with how do my husband and I start over again as empty nesters. Women and men, of course, struggling with caring for adult parents, right? Aging parents, I should say, rather. And so you think, oh, the kids are done. They're grown, they're gone, I'm done. And then here you're got parents that need help. And so maybe they have to move into the home, or maybe you're trying to manage your finance, how that looks from a long-term care aspect. So, you just see the stressors and realize everyone deals with it, but they deal with it differently. And I don't know that there's one right way, but I think people need to know that they're not alone, and it's a common problem, and there are resources that are absolutely there to help you.
Yes, and that's what we'll be doing on our episodes. We'll be having Jessica's professional advice and experience, because it's not just her knowledge, but it's the experience that goes and makes her such a complete package to make this a really successful show. And those are only a few topics you touched on. We have a list. Of course, we would welcome your feedback too. So just put a note down in the bottom of the post of this YouTube video. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about our faith.
Okay.
Because I know that's huge for you. I mean, that's one of the things that drew me to you as a physician. Of course, we went to church together too.
Yep.
And I taught her kids our kids were in Sunday school together.
Yep.
Now they're all adults. I have 4, she has 2,
Yep.
and all amazing. And there's a testament to that for God leading us in the
That's the truth.
in the highs and the lows. And
That's
there
the
were
truth.
lots of highs and lows.
Yep.
So tell us, how does your faith influence the care you provide for your patients and even in the day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, what my patients don't know is, on my drive, I think we all try to get a sacred time to spend with God. And for many people, it could be in the shower, it could be in bed before they wake up. For me, it's when I get in my car, it's my alone time for the next 20 or 30 minutes where I have my praise music on or I'm praying. And really my prayer daily is, give me the discernment to get the right diagnosis, to treat correctly, because it's not me. I have a strong faith that God uses me and that I'm just a vessel, but I also want to make sure that I'm giving the best care that I can give. So my prayer is that He strengthens me, He guides me, He corrects me, He teaches me, and shows me what to do. So that's a huge factor. Patients like yourself, who maybe I've gone to church with, or they know I'm a Christian, they may come and say, I need you to pray for me. And we absolutely do that, right? So it's making sure that I'm prayed up to pray for my patients, if that's what they ask. Some patients come in and are maybe lost or alone or suicidal, and it's praying for them after they leave or praying for them before. And it's not that this is a church, but it's also speaking life into them. I often tell my patients, my job is to treat you physically, mentally, but there's also a spiritual side, and I'm not that spiritual person for you. I'm not your pastor, but I encourage you to find a church or to seek out that aspect as well. And I always have resources again, but I know that as a tripod, I can't just give you a pill and say, here, you're better. I have to make sure mentally you're healthy, and a lot of times patients really need a spiritual home too. And so I if we can guide them or show them, we're always here for that.
How do you feel that the spiritual element plays a part in people's health, in their physical health?
That's a great question. When I know my patients are Christian, or we've been to probably 3 churches in the last 28 years, right? And so we've been able to accrue a lot of patients that come here as well, that if I know you're a Christian, if I know you're saved, I will catch my patients to say, oh, my back is killing me, my head is killing me, these things, because they're cursing themselves, right? I mean, scripture says, blessing, death and life and death is in the tongue, and so it's reminding them, like, no, we're not going to speak cursings over yourself. Let's not say these things. You can say my back hurts, but let's not say my back is killing me. So I'll correct a fellow Christian. Now, if I don't know my patient's walk with Christ, I might correct and say, well, let's not say that. Let's say this, and it's not to negate the fact that they're in pain or they really feel like this is killing me, but it's to not, I'm not going to be in agreement that we're going to speak that over themselves. And so, especially my Christian patients will go, okay, yeah, you're right. And so it's a gentle reminder to not curse ourselves that way. And so I think that's a big factor as well.
That could be a whole other topic.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's not even on our list.
No.
We need to add that one.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you wish more people understood about their own health and their role, our role, your role, in taking care of our bodies?
I mean, really, as a segue to that, again, it's still true. We can speak blessing or death over ourselves. And so it is a scientific fact that we have what are called neurotransmitters and neuroregulation in our brains, that when we speak negative, like, oh, I'm sick, I can never do this, especially my patients who have cancer or who are going through chemo, I'll never get better. It's like, no, we can't speak that, because your brain receives that. And it actually, we have the ability to dysregulate our genes such that it can lead to disease, it can lead to inflammation, it can lead to what we call a sense of fight or flight, and it's usually not the fight, it's we are running away, it's scared, it downregulates. So we worsen the problem. And so when patients are sick and they say, I'm going to beat this, and they think positive, we then regulate, and instead of downregulate, we upregulate to turn on the process of regeneration, right? And so this has been proven.
Of the neurons.
Of the neurons, the neurotransmitters.
Right. Sure.
And we make pathways that allow our body to heal better. And so you really speak health to yourself. And I think if more people realize that, what are you saying to yourself? What are you believing? What are you speaking over yourself? What are you speaking over your spouse? What are you speaking over your children? We're always sick. I always get sick every winter. This runs in my family. Many things that aren't genetically proven, but people believe this to be a fact, right? And so again, I think people don't understand the power that they have in the words they speak over themselves. Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah, but definitely a topic we'll explore more, because they're, as you said, scientifically proven.
Yes.
And I have read things, and
yes.
you're the professional, so and I know we did talk about this. I'm going off a little bit, but what happens when I'm going off my questions, but I wanted to ask this: when you don't know the answer to something?
I think the number one thing is we never fully arrive. And because medicine is ever changing, what I can learn a week ago could change overnight, right? And so I've been practicing long enough now where you see I remember being a medical student in a neurology in the hospital with one of the top neurologists that told everyone you should be on vitamin E, and maybe a cardiologist take vitamin E, and then years later, no, vitamin E is bad for you, and then 5 years later, well, maybe it's not that bad. And so, it's always changing, and I can always find 10 studies that will prove it's safe and 10 studies that might prove it's not safe. And so it's making sure that we're staying ahead of the game to know knowledgeably what is best. I hope that question,
sure,
that answers that.
So when you don't know something, it sounds like you do a lot of research.
Yeah, so we have to do a lot of reading. Thank you. Yeah, so a lot of reading. If we don't know the answer, I mean, we have colleagues that will absolutely text. I have colleagues that will say, hey, I've got a patient, or I'll say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I've got a quick question. And so we call it curbside. So we do what's called curbside consults. And so we'll text each other, we'll call each other, and you end up befriending a lot of people in the industry, right? Whether it's your OB gynecologist, your neurologist, your pain specialist, whatever it may be, your nephrologist. I text my oncologist a lot. If I have a patient who says my mother died of breast cancer and I want to get on birth control pills, well, they will not recommend necessarily that you get on an estrogen pill because it could increase your risk for breast cancer, especially if there's a family history. So, we curbside a lot of the other doctors, and my patients can attest. I'll tell them, I don't know, let me get back to you. I'm going to talk to a couple doctors and get you an answer, and if not, I'll get you to someone who can. So I think it's humbling yourself to know that you're not going to know everything. Sure. And it's knowing your limitations. I think medicine is dangerous when you think you should know it all, and there's a God complex, and I think a lot can be brought to that, to say, no, I don't know everything. And now the longer you do things, the more you should know. It's called experience and clinical experience, right? But again, medicine is always changing. So what I could say today may be different in 6 months. So
right. Yeah. And yes, so you did talk also about the evolving question that I was going to ask. So thank you for sharing that. If there was one small actionable habit that people could do, okay, so we have a friend watching and they're wondering, Dr. Jessica, what can I do if I did one thing? I want to just start improving my health. What's one step I could take?
I would say to just move. And I'm guilty of this too. If you can just walk 30 minutes a day, that has done wonders for people's health. Even if you can say, well, let me do 10-minute increments, right? Morning, lunchtime, dinner. Or I tell patients, walk your dog twice a day for 15 minutes. Or if your dog's a slow walker, leave the dog at home and go walk briskly, right? 30 minutes for a diabetic is equivalent to taking one medication to treat diabetes, right? And so it pushes glucose out, and we know that it drives your blood sugar down. We know that it increases vascular blood flow to your brain. We know that it is associated with decreased dementia. We know that it's associated with decreased diabetes, decreased obesity. And walking alone is one of the most underrated ways to lose weight. No one makes money off of you walking, right?
Ooh,
so why would someone promote that, right? Unless it's the walking shoe, $300 shoe. No, you don't need a $300 shoe or the vest or whatever. So it's really just, if you can put your shoes on and go walking, whether it's 15 minutes at your lunch, or if you have an hour lunch for 30 minutes. I have employees who walk during lunchtime, or right after work, or if you have a friend. I think if we can just get up and move, because I'm guilty as well. You come home from work, you're tired, you just want to sit down, you're too tired to move, you're too tired to exercise. But if you have that friend or that partner that you can say, okay, meet me at 4:00, we're going to work out, or let's go walk the dogs every day at 5, or whatever. But just moving is, I think, the most underrated exercise that everyone should do.
Ooh, that was really good. Okay, so I'll be doing my walk today.
You and me both.
And it's also just being consistent too,
yes,
right?
Yes. I mean, we all will fall short, but it's just getting back up. I think we just have to have more grace on ourselves. I don't think we give ourselves enough grace. We think, well, I screwed up, I'll start next Monday. Well, just get back tomorrow.
That's good. Okay.
I'll wait till the beginning of the year, New Year's resolution, right? And it's like, well, why wait? Just go ahead and get back up and start. And I think people need to be give themselves more grace to say, hey, I'm human, I missed it, but I'm gonna get back up and do it again.
Right. Just get up the next day. Each day is a new opportunity. It's hope from the struggle or whatever the issue was the day before.
Right.
Hope follows. Right. Well, this has been so wonderful having you share more about yourself from a professional standpoint. And now I want you to share a little bit about you, Jessica, and what are some things that you enjoy doing, whether it's just taking care of yourself or with your husband or with the kids.
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that so that our friend watching can learn more about you.
Well, I love serving, so I'm very active in my church. We're on the prayer team, and I've got really, really good friendships that have come from that. I've always, even at Christ Life, we served on the prayer team. So I love going to church. I feel like that's the refresh button, the reset button. So I like being involved. I like, my husband has an aficionado for RVs, and so we have a fifth wheel that we go camping a lot, and great friends that we enjoy company to do that with. So it's nice to just kind of get away, and I call it kind of decompress, right? And so reset as well. And I love just spending time with my kids. And just reconnecting with my husband. We've been married over 30 years, and so it's nice to just find that it's a new journey, a new path now. So it's nice because he just recently retired, so we're making some changes in the house, and he's readjusting and figuring things out. So I think really it's family and church, and again, just making sure I'm taking time to reset. I don't think many times we reset ourselves, and I think that's important. I can tell if I'm starting to feel burned out that okay, I need to get away for a day or two and just reset and refocus, because it's I think easy to get too busy and neglect ourselves. And so I think it's important that we make ourselves the priority so we can do better.
Then when we neglect ourselves, we're really, in essence, it's a domino effect, because then it impacts our spouse, our significant other, our children, others in our life.
We can't serve anyone broken. The foundation starts here. And so like I was telling my husband, I just spoke to my daughter about this the other day, is you have to put yourself first to be better for someone else. Just like the airplane, right? Put your mask on you first, and then put it on your kids. And so what good am I if I'm crumbling, where I need to make sure I need to worry about myself, i.e. my health, my mentality, my physicality, and if I'm good, then I can be of service to others. But I'm no good to anyone if I'm frying at both ends. Yeah.
No, it's just it's not sustainable.
No, well, and that's not what God wanted. I mean, He wanted rest. He rested the seventh day. I think there's a lot to that. I think too many times we plan, right? What are you doing on Saturday? What are you doing on Sunday? And sometimes we were just in Atlanta for Thanksgiving, and my daughter's fiance said, it's kind of weird just to see, we purposely were couch potatoes all day on Thanksgiving, to just sit and do nothing, but it was such a restoration to just sit and do nothing. And so I know for a lot of people that looks weird or odd, but I think when you're always on, to reset is good. One of my very best friends, she, will go to Mexico with her family, or she'll go up to Flagstaff to just, as we call it, escape, right? And I think we all need that, to just reset again, I think is important. Yeah.
So find what works for you to reset yourself. And I know we'll be talking more about that. This is our December episode that we're filming right now. And in January, we'll be talking, I think we mentioned something about planning to fail.
Yes.
We talked about that?
Yes.
Do you remember?
I do.
Okay.
I do. That'll be a good episode.
That's a little sneak peek there. What? Why are we planning to fail? I don't know. You'll just have to watch. Watch our episode in January and you'll know more about that. So we're going to go ahead and close. And I like to close in prayer. And of course, we have our big idea jar. So I'll go ahead and pray for us.
Okay.
Thank you, God, for this time with Jessica and for our friend watching. I pray that they will have been encouraged by today's message and words of wisdom and experience from Dr. Jessica, and that you will just keep us healthy and keep us mindful of just growing closer to you and learning balance, Lord. Thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen. And so I will let you do the honors, the big idea jar.
Okay.
So, there we go. I better get to the gym in my house.
Oh, this is nice. So prepare some necessity bags to have in your car. Water bottle, pair of socks, food bars, have them ready for people in need. And I think especially right now between the holidays, right?
Yes.
And honestly, after the holidays, I think we think give, Thanksgiving and December, and then we forget after January, February, March, and all the way through the rest of the 10 months.
That's a good topic. We should definitely come back to that and talk about serving.
Yeah.
But not in November, December. Let's come back and talk about it in like March or April.
Right.
When all this, all the popularity of giving and serving this time of year, it should be all year round.
Correct.
How can we develop a servant's heart and
Yes.
what that does for our physical health?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be talking about that. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excited for our new segment with Hope Follows. Again, if you enjoyed watching today's show, please go ahead and subscribe to YouTube, Julie Kensler, Hope Follows with Julie Kensler, and then go to the website, hopefollows.com, for so much more information. And to get a copy of the book, you can go on there. It's on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. But mostly, friends, take care of you and remember what we're here for. We're here to talk about how hope follows the hard things we face, the difficulties, the struggles, because there is victory. We know there's victory in the Lord, but we also are going to have victory in our day-to-day lives. So stay tuned, and thank you again for joining us. Bye.